morning, everybody. I'm sitting outside on my porch enjoying some coffee and the traffic. It's Monday. I'm gonna try to get this out today just so you know what's going on for the week and hopefully get things back on schedule. Dakota is getting married on Saturday, the 15th. So, that's what's going on this week. We have a busy week ahead of us. But I wanted to give you a quick update on what all has been going on. Mr. Walker did have his surgery. He had the ablation done. It ended up what should only took an hour. They ran into some complications. Hold on. Somebody's not sitting still. So I need to go do something with her. Okay, I decided to come out back because I've never been outside on a Monday morning. Didn't know the traffic would be that bad going through there. It was a lot of traffic, and I don't want to talk over cars, and I got to talk over those birds up there. They built a little nest in there. So hopefully you can hear me. But let me just say, Mr. Walker had his surgery on that Tuesday, and it ended up taking 4 hours. They ran into a little bit of complications, and they couldn't go through the groin on one side where he had all the leg surgeries. He had scar tissue, so they ended up going through the wrist, and it just took a little bit longer than expected. So, but he did fine. He was able to come home that evening. Dakota was like, Mom, she kept messaging me while I was at work because the only reason why I let her go is when I talked to the doctor, he said it'll be just like a heart cath. It'll be within an hour, and then he'll be able to go home, that he doesn't see anything going wrong. So I was like, well, when I was sick at the beginning of the year and stuff, they took all of my time. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't like that. I feel that, they should have took at least the first 7 days and then let me keep the other 7 days in case something happened at the end of the year. But they took everything from me. They took all my vacation time and all my sick time. So I'm starting out this coming year fresh. I have to earn everything back again. But anyway, so I let her go, and she's like, yeah, I'll take it, because she had time off, and she's like, Mom, you just go ahead and go to work, and I'll just keep you updated. And I talked to my principal and stuff, and he's like, that's fine, just, keep your phone in your pocket and stuff, and if anything happens, just take your call. So she just kept messaging me, and I was like, it'll be okay. So finally, after work, I kept calling him like, what is going on, because thank God he went in at 1, but he didn't get out of surgery until, they actually didn't start on him till 2. So he was finally finished at 6, and he had to lay an hour, couple hours. So they actually left at 8 o'clock, and they were on their way home at 8. So, he did fine. He was in sinus rhythm, and they said that they tried to put him back in AFib while he was on the table, and it wouldn't go. So the doctor told Dakota, he's like, I'm 70% sure that this is going to work. So we're like, okay, let's hope. So he come home, did wonderful, and I'm bragging on him. I'm not going to brag. I told people, don't ask me anymore. I'm just going to smile and nod. On the 9th day, I come home from work, and which was last Thursday, and he was laying in bed, and he didn't look good, and his breathing was just a little bit labored. And so I gave him an extra fluid pill, because we have telehealth here, which he weighs in and stuff, and I can usually tell when he is having a hard time breathing. So I gave him a fluid pill, and that helps to get the fluid off of him. We've been doing this for 5 years, so I know signs and symptoms, but I can never tell when he's at AFib because he doesn't tell me, but I can tell by his face when he's overly exhausted or there's something wrong. And he looks at me and he's like, I've been in AFib since 10 o'clock this morning. And I'm like, what? I said, well, tomorrow's Friday. I said, you need to call your surgeon and tell him. And he's like, okay. So Dakota's like, Mom, I'm just going to take off and be with Dad. He just looks a little different. And I said, okay. I didn't sleep that well on Thursday night just because, I don't know, he wasn't resting like he usually does. And I was just, honestly, I was just scared. And so I would doze off, wake up, make sure he was okay. And he was tossing and turning. And so I went to work. She stayed home with him. I get a message in the middle of the day. She's like, the surgeon told us to go to the ER. Because by the time I left for work, he had told Dakota that he's hurting through the chest, through his back, which was a different onset of a pain. So they wanted to see him in Morgantown. So they took him to Morgantown. They ended up admitting him in Morgantown. He was in the hospital for 5 days. So I talked to the surgeon. They're like, they thought he had a heart attack. So they ran some tests and stuff. He didn't have a heart attack. However, they did an echo and an ultrasound of his heart. There was no fluid on his heart. So that was a good thing. So that's what we want. We don't want any fluid around the heart. That means his heart's overly pumping and he's filling up with fluid for heart failure, and that's not a good thing. There was no fluid around his heart, no fluid around his lungs. So we did everything right for that. So we're like, yes. So I talked to the doctor and I said, okay, why is he flipping back in AFib? They said that he would be a candidate for a pacemaker if this didn't work. They told me, which makes sense, they said right now he can't have the pacemaker. And I'm like, why? They said, when a normal person is in AFib, your heart rate either goes sky high and out of whack, or it goes way low. I mean, your heart rate's all over the place. His heart rate has been the same. They said his heart rate is not fluctuating. It's just staying at that normal beat. And he's like, honestly, that has us baffled. And so this is one of the better hospitals. It's not one of the rinky-dink hospitals around here that messed me up. It's a pretty, one of the bigger hospitals, because it's 2.5 hours away from here. And they're like, he's just a case that we've never seen before. And so we joke about it, I'm like, yeah, he's a case all of us have never seen before. So we joke about it just so we could stay sane sometimes. So he spent 5 days in there, and they're like, he might just have to learn to live with this new normal. Just take his time, because if his heart rate is not changing, a pacemaker is not going to do anything, because that's what it does. Is his heart will stay in AFib, and it'll just keep the heart regulated. But his heart's already doing that on its own, and they're like, we've never seen this before. So he comes home. He was still in AFib. He's been home for 4 days, and he kicked back into regular sinus rhythm on Saturday, and he is feeling pretty good. So that's where we're at today. He's having doctor's appointments and stuff today, so that's where he's at this morning. And Dakota told him, you're not doing anything, you're just going to rest this week, do what you can, because she's getting married Saturday and stuff. So we want him well enough and have enough energy for that, because that's going to be a really big day. So I will have videos of that. We did a shower, a fun party, and I'm going to put all of that in like one big wedding video. That's where we're at for him. And so it has been quite scary. So I have not been focusing on my videos or getting anything edited, because I was up most of the night with him, making sure that he's resting okay. Then I would go to sleep and then go to work. But now that I'm off for the summer, I'm going to focus more on videos and him, and I'll be here in the daytime. And he's like, I'm fine. And now that you're here with me, he's like, you kick up your YouTube channel again and get that back up and started. It is very relaxing for me to do this. And I love interacting with you guys. It was hard when I was working and we were uncertain of things. But now that we know that, you know, because you had one doctor saying, oh, he needs to have this, or they need to have this. Finally, when they told us that they've never seen a case like him and he cannot have, they don't want to do a surgery and put him under for a pacemaker if the heart's already beating the way it should of what the pacemaker would do. So that's where we're at. And I wanted to give you an update because so many of you guys always reach out to me, always send me messages, and just let us know that you're thinking about us. And when you don't hear from me for a while, I appreciate each and every one of you who does send messages and just lets us know that you're thinking about us. We love you guys. I can't say that enough. I can't say how much I appreciate this community. You all are amazing. So I can't wait to show you some things that we're going to do this summer. And I don't want to say something that's going to be happening in August because I want to do a complete video on that. I might let everybody know in July just so you can be prepared, but it's anticipation. And we're excited about it, about what we're going to be doing. So sit back, relax, watch for the wedding video, and just keep watching and wait and see what's around the corner. Have a great day, guys.